Tonight, we're diving into a countdown that doesn't just measure numbers, it measures impact, legacy, and the unstoppable power of 7 men who accidentally redesigned how music travels across the digital world. Before we even begin, let's sit with one wild truth. In a universe where songs disappear as quickly as trends come and go, somehow BTS still dominates the battlefield of short-form content like TikTok, a platform built on speed, chaos, and constant reinvention. But how? Why? And more importantly, what makes each member's music explode into millions, even billions of views beyond the actual streaming charts? That, right there, is where today's journey begins. We're not here to rank who is better. No, that would be too shallow for a group whose artistry refuses to be boxed into simple comparisons. Instead, we're here to explore how each member carved a digital footprint so huge that TikTok itself feels like their playground. What makes Jungkook's beats go viral before the official release even drops? Why does Taehyung's voice turn into a sound trend that even non-K-pop listeners unknowingly use? How can Suga's gritty rap suddenly find its way into baking videos, car edits, gym montages, and cat compilations? And how does RM's introspective, poetic music become the background sound for people discovering themselves? The deeper you look, the more you realize these aren't just TikTok views. They're reflections of personality, artistry, and the hidden emotional chord each member strikes in millions of strangers worldwide. And the further we go down this list, the more you begin to notice something almost mystical. Each member doesn't just release a song, they release a visual story, a mood board, a memory trigger. Their music doesn't live on TikTok. It thrives there, mutating, transforming, reappearing in places you would never expect. But here's the real question you should dare to answer before we hit number 7. Is a song's success defined by charts that update once a week? Or by a platform where millions of people voluntarily carry your sound everywhere, stitching it into moments of their everyday lives? Which is more powerful, a ranking or an echo? A trophy or a trend that refuses to die? Tonight, you decide. Because right now, you're about to witness the definitive countdown of BTS members with the most viewed music on TikTok, a list shaped by passion, global culture shifts, fan genius, and raw artistic energy. And trust me, some placements might shock you, some might feel obvious, and some will make you whisper, "Wait, that many views?" So, are you ready to see how far their voices travel when the entire world becomes their stage? Are you ready to find out which member sits on the TikTok throne? And more importantly, why? Then let's begin. Number 7, Jin, the silent challenger of TikTok. When you reach number 7 on this list, you might expect to find someone whose music quietly sits in the background of the platform, maybe overshadowed by more viral personalities. But Jin breaks that expectation immediately, because nothing about his presence, whether in BTS or on TikTok, has ever been small. What's fascinating about Jin landing on the 7th slot is how misleading the number is. People love to interpret rankings as an indicator of impact, but with Jin, the real story lies beneath the surface. His voice is not the kind that you stumble upon randomly. No, Jin's sound finds people at very specific emotional crossroads. Late-night reflections, a moment of nostalgia that hits out of nowhere. Or that strange hour when you scroll endlessly hoping to find something that understands you better than your own thoughts do. Tracks like The Astronaut began circulating as a comfort anthem, stitched into videos of sky shots, family moments, pets sleeping, or people learning to embrace themselves. And that tells us something powerful. Jin's music doesn't go viral through chaos, it goes viral through connection. The kind that lodges itself into your chest and makes you feel understood, even when the video has nothing to do with him. And TikTok's ecosystem thrives on emotions that feel universally relatable. Jin just happens to deliver those emotions in a format that's soft enough to soothe but strong enough to stay. And as you peel back the layers, you see how intentional this is. Jin has always been the emotional backbone of BTS, even if he rarely says it out loud. His music echoes maturity, patience, and grief wrapped carefully inside warmth. So when his voice becomes a trending sound, it's not driven by hype, it's driven by stories. People use his songs to say things they can't articulate themselves. They borrow his emotions to understand their own. And maybe that's why his TikTok presence feels so unique. Others trend because of beat drops, charisma, choreography, or sheer virality. Jin trends because people need a safe place to land, and his music provides exactly that. So yes, he sits at number 7, but in a way only Jin could. With grace, with depth, and with the kind of resonance that reminds you that even the softest voices can echo the loudest in the right moments. Number 6. Jimin, the emotional pulse of TikTok. Landing at number 6. Jimin enters this ranking not as an underdog, but as a phenomenon that operates differently from the others. Where some members thrive through explosive virality, Jimin thrives through emotional atmosphere. The moment his voice hits a TikTok audio, something in the air shifts. It becomes more dramatic, more cinematic, almost like the app suddenly remembers it has feelings. Songs like Crazy and Filter have become anchors of TikTok edits, especially those that revolve around longing, transformation, or that raw, youthful confusion that keeps people awake at night. And Jimin's specific type of artistry lends itself perfectly to the platform's obsession with aesthetic storytelling. His tone is delicate yet intense, airy but sharp, soft yet incredibly cutting when it wants to be. That contrast makes his sound ideal for clips where someone is trying to show their inner world through visuals, whether it's a romantic montage, a melancholic walk at sunrise, or a glimpse into a moment they wish they could relive. And behind the scenes, Jimin's TikTok domination feels almost poetic. He has always been the emotional compass of BTS, the member who feels deeply and expresses fearlessly. TikTok users latch onto that honesty. They use his music to give meaning to moments they otherwise couldn't explain. And there's something about his duality, sweet but dangerous, gentle but powerful, that the algorithm seems to adore. When Jimin trends, it's never random. It always comes with a wave of people confessing, reminiscing, reflecting, or simply longing for something they can't fully name. And while he sits at number 6, it never feels like he's behind anyone. If anything, it feels like he has carved out a category of his own: emotional virality. The kind that doesn't explode once and disappear. It slow burns, spreads quietly, and stays long after other sounds fade. He may not chase trends, but trends inevitably find him. And that's the mark of someone whose music doesn't just live on TikTok, it breathes there. Number 5. Jhope, the human sunshine who turns TikTok into a stage. Number 5 brings us to Jhope, the member who injects the platform with pure kinetic energy every time one of his tracks resurfaces. What's astonishing about Jhope's presence on TikTok is how effortlessly his music translates into movement. It's almost unfair. Every beat he produces feels designed for limbs, rhythm, and spontaneous moments of joy, even when the song isn't technically a dance track. Clips using More, Arson, Chicken Noodle Soup, or older Hobie infused BTS tracks immediately make you want to get up, move, shake off your day, and do something fun. And here's where he becomes a TikTok force. The app thrives on motion, transformation, and contagious vibes. Jhope is the embodiment of all three. But the secret behind his success isn't just his addictive sound, it's his personality encoded inside the music. His beats carry warmth, his flow carries confidence, his lyrics carry that Jhope trademark optimism mixed with razor-sharp precision. People don't just use his sound, they adopt his energy. Even edits that aren't dance-related, from fashion transitions to workout videos, use his tracks for that extra injection of brightness and swagger. And this makes perfect sense when you consider who he is at his core. The mood maker, the fire starter, the spark that turns a quiet room into a party. His music mirrors that identity so strongly that even people who don't know him end up vibing with his sound. And yet, standing at number 5 doesn't feel like a limit, it feels like a pause. Because with every new release, Jhope re-enters TikTok like a meteor, fast, explosive, impossible to ignore. And you can feel it. The next time he drops something, the entire ranking could shift overnight. That's the unpredictable, beautiful thing about Jhope. His virality doesn't depend on trends. It depends on timing, energy, and that unmistakable feeling his music gives you: freedom. Number 4, RM, the philosopher who accidentally took over TikTok. Sitting at number 4 is RM, and if you know his artistic style, you might assume his music wouldn't easily fit into the hyper-fast, visually driven nature of TikTok. But that assumption evaporates the second you realize something crucial. TikTok isn't just an app for trendy audios, it has become a platform for identity expression. And nobody in BTS captures identity, its confusion, its beauty, its pain, its messy evolution quite like RM. His music doesn't trend because it's catchy, even though it is. It trends because it speaks. Tracks like Wildflower, Still Life, and Persona have become staples in study edits, travel reels, sunrise montages, self-growth transitions, and introspective content where people try to capture a chapter of their lives in 12 seconds. RM's voice, with its low warmth and philosophical cadence, has a way of grounding people. It makes a TikTok feel bigger than the screen, almost like there's a story behind the clip that you wish you knew more about. And that's why he thrives here. He transforms short clips into narratives without even trying. The emotional weight of his tone, paired with lyrics that feel handwritten for anyone who is lost, makes his songs the go-to soundtrack for people documenting their personal evolution. It's almost cinematic. And what's even more fascinating is the duality of his viral moments. On one side, you have the deep, reflective edits. On the other, you have users who adore the chaotic, clumsy, adorable side of Namjoon, using his softer tracks for comedy edits or aesthetic irony. This versatility makes him an unpredictable but powerful presence on the platform. RM doesn't need formula or trend alignment to dominate TikTok. All he needs is one person feeling something real, and from there, the sound spreads like wildfire. Number 4 isn't a ranking for him. It's a reminder of how far authenticity can travel, even in the shortest videos. Number 3, Suga, the viral alchemist of TikTok. Reaching number 3 is Suga, arguably one of the most fascinating cases of TikTok virality in the entire group. If there's one thing you should know about Suga's music, it's this: his sound travels across the platform with unmatched fluidity. It adapts, transforms, and reinvents itself depending on who uses it. That's rare. Very rare. TikTok is built on flexibility sounds that can fit multiple moods, multiple stories, multiple aesthetics. And Suga's voice, flow, and production style excel exactly there. Tracks like Da Chwita, Hey Jiam, Seesaw, and even older August D releases have gone through dozens of trend cycles, each time returning stronger than before. Sometimes his music becomes the anthem of gym edits, full of grit and intensity. Sometimes it becomes the soundtrack of comedy clips, thanks to his iconic deadpan expressions. Sometimes it becomes the background of historical or cultural videos, because his sound feels so rich and cinematic. And sometimes this is the best part, it becomes the audio people use when they're trying to show that they've leveled up in life. Why? Because Suga's tone carries ambition, determination, a bit of rebellion, a bit of "I survived this, and I'm stronger now." TikTok users subconsciously pick up on that energy, which is why his music is perfect for glow-up edits, before and after transformations, and any video that screams, "Look at how far I've come." But behind all that virality lies Suga's genius as a producer. His beats have layers, his transitions are crisp, his musical identity is unmistakable, and on TikTok, where milliseconds matter, precision is everything. While others trend because of personality, Suga trends because of craft. Number 3 feels like a throne perfectly made for him, one he earned not through hype, but through mastery. And with every new release, you can feel the algorithm trembling, as if preparing itself for another tidal wave. Number 2, Taehyung, the velvet trendsetter of TikTok. At number 2, we enter a different realm, one where music doesn't just get used, it gets desired. Taehyung, also known as V, is a unique force on TikTok because his sound never trends randomly. It trends beautifully, smoothly, aesthetically. His voice has a distinctive texture, warm, velvety, slightly husky, and effortlessly cinematic. You could put his entire discography behind a clip of a window on a rainy day, and suddenly the video becomes a masterpiece. Tracks like Sweet Night, Scenery, Snowflower, Love Me Again, and Slow Dancing dominate TikTok's aesthetic communities. People use Taehyung's songs when they want to feel something, when they want their videos to look expensive, when they want a touch of nostalgia or longing. His presence on the app is almost ethereal. Unlike others who trend through hype, Taehyung trends through atmosphere. And that's what makes him so powerful here. His voice creates worlds. It paints emotional landscapes that make even ordinary moments look poetic. And the platform, which thrives on aesthetic storytelling, responds to him like a magnet. Even non-fans, yes, non-fans use his audios simply because they like the vibe. That's how far-reaching his influence is. But here's the deeper layer. Taehyung has always been the member whose artistry feels timeless. Vintage, romantic, classy. And TikTok has a massive community of creators who love that timelessness. Videographers, photographers, painters, writers, so many of them choose his music because it elevates their art. It gives their content personality. It gives their edits soul. Being number 2 doesn't surprise anyone. If anything, the only mystery is how close he came to taking the crown. Because V isn't just a TikTok artist, he's a TikTok aesthetic in human form. Number 1. Jungkook, the undisputed king of TikTok views. And now we arrive at number 1, the throne, the peak, the spot ruled by a man who seems engineered in a lab specifically for digital dominance. Jungkook. If there is one BTS member whose music, voice, personality, performance energy, and cultural influence align perfectly with TikTok's DNA, it's him. Jungkook doesn't just trend, he detonates. Every time he releases something, anything, the platform experiences a shift, a spike, a wave, a digital earthquake. 7. 3D. Standing next to you. Euphoria. Still with you. My You, and even his unintentional little hums or studio clips have turned into global soundtracks within hours. And the reason is simple. Jungkook has range. Infinite range. His voice fits every genre on the platform. Dance edits, comedic clips, thirst traps, couple videos, morning routines, night drives, gym montages, fashion transitions, slow-mo shots, cooking videos, everything. His sound blends into every category, every emotion, every trend. His voice is smooth but explosive, stable but thrilling, emotional but addictive. TikTok thrives on repeatable sounds, and Jungkook's songs are built for replay value. But that's not all. What really cements him at number 1 is his cultural influence. Jungkook is TikTok's favorite not by force, but by nature. He moves like a trend. He breathes like a trend. His aura, his visuals, his stage presence, his charisma users gravitate toward him without even realizing why. And the platform reflects that instinct. Jungkook's music doesn't just trend, it becomes the trend. His beats drive challenges. His vocals power viral sounds. His performances inspire creators across the world, from dancers to editors to casual users just wanting to feel cool for 10 seconds. And perhaps the most incredible part is that Jungkook never seems to be trying. His authenticity is magnetic, his passion is recognizable, his identity as an artist shines even through a 7-second audio clip. That's what makes a true digital king. That's why he sits alone at the top. Jungkook isn't just number 1 on TikTok, he is TikTok's heartbeat.